Hello everyone, it's Latasha Blanton with The Real South African. Today I'm just having coffee and cake with Waahida. And I'm just going to talk to Waahida a little bit about how she ended up in South Africa, what she likes about South Africa, and hopefully give you guys some more information about traveling to South Africa, possibly transitioning to South Africa. But she is going to tell you a little bit about herself. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Waahida.
Thank you, Tasha. So my name is Waahida. I am originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes,
Louisville. That's exactly how you pronounce it.
Louisville. Got it.
Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm married to a South African. So
how long now?
For 15 years in September.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you are South African, basically.
Yeah. I feel like I can claim it a bit.
I think you can.
Yeah.
You sound South African when you say certain words.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my South African friend would disagree, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll accept that. So, when my husband and I met, one of the things that I liked about him was the fact that he was so patriotic to his country. So he always, told me up front, even when we were just friends, that, one day I want to move back to South Africa.
Wow.
So when we started dating, that was a huge conversation for us.
So you knew.
I knew that's what he wanted. Okay. I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted.
Right.
And so our relationship at some points, we paused because I wasn't sure if I was willing to move to another country. I always see myself traveling, but didn't necessarily see myself living abroad full time.
Had you been to South Africa before?
I had not. I had not been to South Africa before. I had done a bit of traveling. When I was in college, I visited Southeast Asia.
Okay.
I visited Ghana. Tulani at the time, when I was about to visit Ghana, tried to convince me that I should visit South Africa. And I was like, I want to go to Ghana first.
He was advocating for his country.
He's always been a huge advocate for South Africa.
Most South Africans are.
They are. They are.
Okay.
Very proud of South Africa, as they should be.
They really should be.
Yeah.
So then, at some point, you agreed to get married, I'm assuming.
Yes, we agreed to get married, and we agreed that at some point, we would move to South Africa. We didn't put a date on it or a year, but I was open to that happening.
Okay.
It was okay for us to at some point move. Yeah. So after we had our son, we got married in 2005. We had
that's a long time.
We had Timba in 2009. So I have a 10-year-old now. And at that point, it felt like this is a time to consider moving. I was teaching. I had just left teaching and moved into. We had an after-school program, so I started coordinating that, and I really enjoyed it. But I felt like this is not exactly what I want to do career-wise. So this could be a good opportunity to transition.
Where were you living though?
We were living in Washington D.C. So we really enjoyed living there.
Well, it's fast-paced.
Yeah, it's fast-paced. A lot of job opportunities there. There were a lot of decent schools there. Both public and private. We just felt like it was the right time for our family to relocate. I did feel like if we decided to have a child, I would want my child to spend some part of his life in South Africa.
Gotcha.
So that was something that was a value for us.
So you moved here with an infant?
Yeah, well, Temple was 1.5. So we moved here in 2011.
So you moved where you had to pay for a flight?
We had to pay partial price.
Really?
Yeah.
For 1.5-year-old?
Yeah. He was on the lap. I think it was maybe $400.
Okay.
It was pretty inexpensive.
I got you.
Yeah.
So how was the move? What was it like?
The move, we started off in Cape Town. Yeah, so Tulani got a job in Cape Town.
Wow.
Even though he's from Johannesburg. And the job that he took, they had offices in Johannesburg.
Okay.
So we took that job knowing that at some point we would want to transfer to Johannesburg. So Cape Town is a beautiful place. The energy wasn't right for us in Cape Town. So we decided to relocate to Joburg, and the energy was right for us in Johannesburg. The speed, the pace was more consistent to what we were used to in DC. And we met people pretty quickly. People were very friendly. Our neighbors would invite us over for drinks. We just found that in Johannesburg, it was easier for us to build a community versus Cape Town.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you made the transition with all your stuff with a 1.5-year-old, which is crazy, was Cape Town your first experience to South Africa?
Well, we had come to visit South Africa in 2006.
Okay, so
we came in 2006. We also come for the World Cup.
You were here?
Which was fantastic. It was fantastic.
That vibe?
So I had a chance to explore it, to experience it. I had been to Alex, which is where Tulani's from. Yeah. So I had been here before.
Okay, I got you. So I was wondering if Cape Town was your first experience, and then if
I had visited there before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a whole year in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So at this point, the little guy is 2.5 almost.
2.5, 3.
Yeah. And then how'd you end up in, like, what was the transition like from Cape Town to Joburg?
Well, we decided to start a school, which is a whole other story. And so we wanted that school to be in Johannesburg.
Okay.
So we actually took a road trip and just drove to Johannesburg. It took a week getting here just so we could explore the country. Nice. So it's fantastic, which I really encourage people to do if they ever get the opportunity
for sure.
to do so. So the transition, there's always a transition, right? Whenever you're relocating continents, or relocating between states,
not like
provinces.
Kentucky, DC.
Yeah, there's going to be a transition.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So I think it took us a while to like find our footing, to develop, like I said, we met people really quickly, but like to develop like deep relationships, it took us some time. But I think slowly but surely we really found our footing. For my husband, he's from here, but I think, when you grow up in certain communities, you can tend to be a bit isolated. Like I grew up in Louisville and I lived in a predominantly Black community, and I also was very isolated from the rest of the city. So even when I go back to Louisville, I'm rediscovering Louisville and parts of it that didn't feel like they were for me.
I understand.
Didn't feel like they were accessible.
Absolutely.
So I think for Tulani it was the same. So he knew parts of Johannesburg really well, but he was rediscovering his city.
Because he had been gone for a while.
He was gone for a very long time. So he left when he was 18, and was gone for 15 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So what he left is not what he found when he came back.
So that was the transition for him.
So you guys got to discover Joburg together.
Yeah, we did.
With the new kid.
Right. Which was exciting, right? Because he knew parts of it, but we were learning it together.
And how was that? Like, how long did it take you to kind of feel like this is home?
It took me about 3 years, actually. I think once I started working and like really engaging, in community, in South African communities, and I started a school in Alex, and started to develop like deep relationships. I started to really feel like, okay, I feel at home. I feel like I have a purpose, here. I feel like I've developed like deep connections here. But it took me that long to get settled, and I think what was challenging for me is I thought that I would settle in very quickly. Okay. And I was comparing myself to the settling in experiences of others. Okay. You would find others that within a year, like, I feel like I'm at home. And so I thought something was wrong with me because I wasn't unhappy, but I didn't feel immediately at home. Okay. I think it took me more time to develop that relationship with the country to feel at home. Now I can say I feel at home.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think that's just a testament to say that, my story does not mimic hers. When I got here, when the plane landed, I felt at home. And I come from a strong sense of a community as well. I come from a very small town where everyone's kind of like close knit. But at the same time, my experiences here in South Africa gave me that immediate sense of close knit feeling when I got here. So our experiences are different. So if you're thinking about making the transition, just understand that there will be some time for you to acclimate to what's actually happening in your communities and what you're trying to actually do for yourself. For her, it just seems like she needed to be a part of that community, and she's immersed herself, so that makes it a little bit easier. Mine is a little bit different, so just give yourself time when you're thinking about making that transition, because it's going to be different for everybody. And what we try to do at the Real South Africa is make sure that you can come here, meet people like Waahida, hear their stories, meet other South Africans, and basically for yourself decide how you want to acclimate, how you want to assimilate, for lack of a better term, and find your place here in South Africa, because I think there's a place for everybody. To me, that's the beauty of being in South Africa. What do you say to people that are thinking about moving and they've got children? So I get a lot of questions about, I'm a single mom, or I want to bring my family, and they've got some reservations because they think that the move is going to be too much for them. But like, what type of advice would you give them, knowing that they want to move their whole family, because you basically moved your family? Yeah. I mean, I would say, explore the possibilities with some, with an organization like yours, like the Real South Africa. Come to South Africa, take the opportunity to really experience it and make sure it is a good fit for you, right? Because it is a good fit for me and my family. But I think it's worth, exploring it. When you come, look into the schools. I'm an educator and I work at a school, and parents are usually welcome to come and visit schools and just to see what the school offers and to see if it's the right kind of environment for your child. So I encourage you, if you do, have a tourism experience, that you include, really
exploring communities.
Exactly.
Not just exploring the tourism sector per se, but really explore potential neighborhoods.
Right.
Explore potential schools. Within the Real South Africa community, there's a lot of people who are from the U.S.
Exactly.
Who you can be introduced to, who can tell you about their experience, what schools do their children go to, what schools do they recommend, what schools do they say stay away from.
Exactly.
So I really encourage people to really do their research for themselves. I think that, of course, we can give you our own experiences, but I think it's something that you have to experience for yourself to see if it's a good fit for you.
For sure.
But I've found it to be a really good experience for my son. I love raising my son in South Africa. I feel that he gets the opportunity to see reflections of himself, at every angle. And that's irreplaceable to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And when she says, think about what you want to experience when you come. Most of you have heard us say that our packages include lifestyle, culture, couture, and there are people that are asking for more experiences to explore neighborhoods and schools. So those are things that can be included as well. If you want to visit Waahida School, that's always an option. If you want to donate to Waahida School, that's also an option. There's probably another video that you can watch to talk more about the school, but this is just her experience as an American in South Africa. Just trying to give you guys an understanding of the fact that there are more African Americans here than you think, and they all have a different story, and they've made South Africa their home. Not that they're trying to say that America's bad, because you do have family there. And
I have family in America, and when I left America, I was on pretty decent terms with America. Now it's changed a bit, but it wasn't an escape for me. I saw it as more of an opportunity. Now it with what's currently going on, it feels like it could be an escape, which is not bad. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in South Africa. There's a lot of opportunities to pursue your own interests.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of opportunities to reinvest.
Absolutely.
Invest in the country, invest in the potential of the people in the country. So I find it, to be a place that's just brewing with possibilities.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. South Africa is brewing with possibilities. If you've got a brain, which most of us do, and you are a thinker and you can think about anything that you could possibly want to do, you can probably do that here in South Africa. I don't care if it's selling races on the side of the road. You can probably do it here in South Africa and make money. So just keep that in mind. If you have any other questions for Waahida, her information will be at the bottom of the screen in the description. You know how to reach us, info@therealsouthafrica.com. You can always go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com. And I'm going to stop talking fast, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.